Okay. I wouldn't say late, okay? Technically, I'm supposed to start in 10 minutes, so I'm like 9 minutes early. Can we bank all the times that I'm early and use them against the times when I do eventually be late, you know? I feel like I start like 15 minutes early, like most streams. Like, I feel like it's fair. No, I'm just kidding. How y'all doing, guys? Man, yesterday was a fucking doozy. Hey, Luvion, Thunder, Nightwalker, Wrong. How y'all doing, guys? Nuh-uh. What? What do you mean, nuh-uh? No. Okay. Okay. So you skip... we'll see. We gotta start in like 10 minutes, technically, so we'll probably just, we'll do Wordle, we'll do Connection, and we'll get started. I feel good. Oh, yeah. Wow, okay. AGA. I feel good on you. Rain. So A-T. Milosh, how's it going? How y'all doing this fine? Is it Sunday? Fuck me, is it Sunday? Fuck, it is Sunday. You're not getting the Wordle, trust me. Oh, ye of little faith. A... Dr. Z, how's it going? This Wordle is interesting. One Autumn Leaf, how's it going, man? How you doing? A... R-I... Nah, I don't think so. A-X-R-I... A-F... Let's not play this and read Good Things Will Happen today. Yeah, no. We're gonna start reading in 5 minutes, Dr. Z. I don't like to start before the actual starting time. So this is just to kill some time, and it's to really get my brain into working condition, because I'm not always at top condition, because I don't know. Do you guys ever notice this when you're like not in school or you're not working or like, you're just home? Eventually you start getting a little bit like slower because like you're not using your brain quite as much. Like even though I read stuff and I still feel like I'm not quite as snappy. I'm not quite as sharp as when I'm like, working or when I was in school, because like I'd be like, okay, like, I'd be studying all the time. I'd be preparing for tests. It like kept me on edge. And I was like, I felt like I was sharper. But but like even during like summer vacation, I'd be like, like I don't really have anything to prep for. I don't have anything like really that's keeping me stressed. So like I'm just chilling, and being that chill makes me a little bit not as sharp. No, I actually feel better when I can actually rest. I guess in fairness, I probably never had that concern. Like I don't think I've ever been like shit. Like I'm so tired where I'm like, fuck. Like I just like I can't think. Like that, I don't know if that's ever happened. Bug, how's it going, man? How you doing? A T R I a trig. A-X-T-I-R. Archer. Actor. So there is a T. Okay, good. Okay, so it's A-R-T-I. No, 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 no. It's ATRI Atri. Who the fuck said I wouldn't get that? Who the fuck was it? Milos, what the fuck did you say? You said I wouldn't get it? Get out of here. Sorry, that clap was probably really loud. I don't care. Sorry, I'm excited, okay? Kami, anything else, motherfucker? Yeah, yeah, say that again, bitch. God, y'all doubting me. Oh, ye of little faith. An anatomical cavity or passage. I don't care. All I got was that I fucking got it. You shouldn't be allowed to brute force it? Oh, you're such a bitch, Kami, bro. Yeah, says something with such pure confidence. The other guy does it, and you're like, well, get the fuck out of here. Ugh. That is true, Luvion. Like the atrium, and then atria was, I assume, like, is it the plural of it, atrium? Plural atria, yeah, okay, exactly, yeah. Mr. Loki, how's it going? How you doing? Good on you. Alright. God, y'all are doubters, bro. Doubters. Oh, ye of little faith. Trust. I got it. How did you like the full reveal? It was great. I'm just mad I didn't get it. I was so close. I was so close, Mr. I'm not sure if you've seen the VOD, Mr. Loki, but god damn, I was so close. That one was sad. That one was actually kind of depressing. That one was depressing, actually, if I'm honest. Well, I think I went with, like, Jester or something. Like, fuck. I still think Jester would have been better, because, like... Because, like, I wouldn't have guessed, because, like, it wasn't so on the nose. That's what I went... I was like, Fool seems too on the nose. I don't think it'd be that. You silly bitch. I'm mad about it. Nah, Jester doesn't have enough aura to be a sequence 0. Samo, how's it going, man? How you doing? Okay, fuck it. You know what? We'll do connections later. If I'm tired midway, then we'll take a little bit of a break. We'll do connections later. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. There we go. Good lord. Sorry, because I have a green screen that I like pack up what the fuck? That I pack up after every stream and then I put it away, which means every time I put it up it's not in the same pace, so same place, good lord. So it's not always exactly lined up. So I just gotta make some minor tiny adjustments every time, but it's all good. Fool is more compact, representing the whole path. Yeah, maybe. I'm not opposed to it. It felt too on the nose. Alright, sounds good, Mr. Loki. Thanks for popping by, man. Consultation. Bees. I'm too dyslexic for Wordle and other games you play. Those are practically meaningless letters that you keep moving. But you read so much, Doctor. Like, you read all of Lord of the Mysteries and COI. That, like, reading doesn't bug you? I'm just curious. Like dyslexia has always been really confusing to me because I know how it fundamentally works, but like it's hard to conceptualize it in my head. What do you think is the name of the sequence 0, Apprentice and Marauder? Do you guys mind if we do that really quickly? We can do that. I don't mind. I can read thanks to endless practice. I still have oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Spelling is an impossible skill. You don't really see it. Okay. So now that the Fool is a title, that means the Marauder becomes a... Bolin, how's it going, man? How you doing? Bolin is... or what? Marauder is a concept. An apprentice is a... it's a celestial body. I feel like apprentice being something like Pluto would be really clever. Because I feel like Pluto kind of, it feels like an apprentice planet almost, because it was a planet and now it's not. You know what I mean? I mean, because the classification originally wasn't set up that deep, but wasn't thought about that deeply. But I feel like Pluto's a good guess. And then Parasite, and then Marauder. They're not even in the solar system. I know, but Pluto feels like an apprentice. I know, but it's still a celestial body. It doesn't have to be a planet, because it was Sun, not a planet. Moon, not a planet, of course. I know, these guys are so mean. Okay, and then for Marauder, concepts related to theft. I'm just curious. Nagito, how's it going? It's Uranus, yeah. What is the name of Pluto's sister? Wait, what? Is that a thing? I don't even know that was a thing. Pluto's sister planet. Is that a thing? Eris. Oh, I did not know this. Our... this is so cute. That's cute. Well, yeah, but Nagita, but sorry, Milosh is 11, so it does fit, Dr. Z. You know, don't be so harsh on him. I don't know. I laughed at it. I'm 25. I don't know. Concept of abyss. Theft. Theft synonyms. Let's try that, maybe. Maybe I'll get some inspiration. Let's do embezzlement synonyms. This is true, Milosh, but it also doesn't really... I mean, does it really matter that much? Flipping swindling. Appropriation, pilferage. I don't know. Originally, I was thinking something close to like becoming. Like, I didn't get a notification. No worries, thanks for popping by, username. I was thinking something close to like becoming. Like you become the owner of the thing. That's it. I don't know. Something along that vein is what I was thinking. I don't know. Okay, sounds good. A nightmare. Klein deliberated for 2 seconds and said yes. I dreamt of a town enshrouded in fog. The crimson moon in the sky would be clear and blurry at random times. In the middle of the town was a black cathedral. Corpses hung up inside. They wore clothes from different eras and they sway with the wind. Apart from that, there's a beautiful lady whose gap in her teeth was filled with blood-colored human flesh. A mushroom man deformed tiny countless mushrooms. To treat psychological problems, Klein reconstructed his dream. However, he didn't say that he encountered those things in reality, nor did he divulge that he knew the beautiful lady's identity or the strange mushroom's origins. At the same time, he hid the existence of the translucent maggots and Zaratul. Assimilator. That's actually a really good one, username. Obviously, since you're telling me it's not it, but that's very clever. Audrey listened intently and seriously. Mr. World, I can imagine such a terrifying and sinister dream. I can also experience the immense horror that it brought you. Seeing that there wasn't any rebuttal, Audrey grew in confidence. She did another round of placate and began guiding. The horror that appears in dreams will often stem from feelings hidden deep in one's heart. There are only two sources of horror in one's heart: the unknown and what cannot be resisted. The terrifying things you saw in your dream are only superficial. What you're afraid of is what they represent. And what is that? Audrey asked. The existence that created all of that, Klein answered. They're both the unknown and also cannot be resisted, Klein answered. At this point, Klein knew why he was having the nightmares, as well as the reason for his mental state. He instinctively felt horrified over certain matters and instinctively had latent negative emotions. The former included the cluster of translucent maggots and Zaratul's performance. There was also the Eraser Angel's baffling actions and the fact that using the Dark Angel emblem was the key to opening the door. I'm so curious, why did the angel send him there though? Because that angel sent him there and she returned to her state of just being, locked away or whatever. Because when the Red Glove or whoever the fuck went down there, he was like, yeah, no, all the sequence zeros are in place. And it was like... Yes, I'm fearful that the cluster of translucent maggots that's suspected to be sequence 1, a tentative mysteries of the seer pathway. I'm fearful of Zaratul, who has accomplished an unknown objective. I'm fearful of the goddess, whose thoughts are unknown, as well as the Eraser Angel. To punish the blasphemer? Yes, but that doesn't... In my mind, that doesn't tell me why she wouldn't tell someone else that she sent someone to the void or erased someone. Wouldn't she... And secondly, I thought she only took... she only responded to commands. Like, someone had to tell her, like, hey... Like, because she was basically like a object at that point. But she clearly wasn't. She did that herself. One of the biggest sources of fear is a lack of confidence. Try recalling if you had any oversight or committed any mistakes that resulted in your spirit repeatedly warning you and hinting to you. It eventually transformed into a nightmare. Oversights, mistakes. Soon, Klein thought about it and his expression turned heavy as he discovered a problem. I swore an oath with the goddess, bearing witness via the holy sword. Although I hadn't become a clown with the Greyfog's power yet, preventing me from being noticed by special deities, demigods, and spirit world creatures, I still couldn't fool fate, which would be the Beyonders of the monster pathway. Is it ReZero? No, I saw the Mushoku Tensei one. I didn't see the ReZero one. And the goddess has another title. She is the Empress of Misfortune and Horror. She wields control over misfortune and is one of the deities in the domain of fate. Therefore, I was noticed from back then. As Klein's heart sank bit by bit, as the horror that stemmed from the unknown was greatly alleviated. He didn't reply, nor did he wait for Miss Justice to speak again. He said, he switched to asking, if you will face one or even many difficult to challenge enemies, what would you do? Audrey wasn't annoyed by her patient's question. Instead, she felt it was a good sign, and said, first avoid them and hide them. Try harder to improve yourself. What if the time won from avoiding and hiding isn't enough to make you grow to a level sufficient to face them? What if the gap between you two is too difficult to bridge? Find other helpers. Names suddenly flashed across Klein's mind as he felt more settled, as he continued asking, what if the enemies cannot be resisted even with helpers? What if there are helpers who are plotting something that might be beneficial to you, but might also bring you harm? Audrey drew a blank, and after a few seconds replied, pray to a deity. She nearly said to the world, you could seek Mr. Fool's help. Oh, if she said that, she would have ruined it for him. Because Klein would have realized that instead of being the person who's going to ask for help, he's the person who's always going to be asked to help. He can never be like, hey, can you help me? He's always going to be the person being asked to help. Anyways, I'm not the only one who tells you for no reason. Gilgamesh, how's it going, man? How you doing? By the way, we haven't seen it on the server in a little bit, Gil. Everything okay? Pray to a deity. Klein didn't dare to say directly. What if deities couldn't resolve, because the thoughts of the deities are even harder to fathom? After all, this was the Fool's kingdom, and he was a blessed. He organized his thoughts and said, deities can only provide help in certain areas. What if that isn't enough? Originally, she wanted to say that there was always a way, but she couldn't convince herself. So she pursed her lips and said, I don't know. In the confessional, there's still darkness. The two temporarily stopped speaking as they fell into their inner struggles. Been busy working? Oh, okay, no worries, man. Just wanted to check and hope you're doing okay. Finally, Audrey broke the silence and looked at the wooden partition. Regardless, something needs to be done. Work, you can't just give up and not put up a fight. That's right. At the very least, I still have many secrets and things to rely on. Klein closed his eyes and leaned on the wooden plank as his thoughts rewound from the most recent events, as he was no longer tense and frustrated. Audrey sensed the change and immediately added a placate. With that, Klein's mental condition was restored to normal. I feel much better. Thank you for your treatment. What kind of consultation fee do you want? The consultation fee that I charge isn't much at all. Just wish me happiness. She's so sweet. Maybe she's just really happy from her birthday or whatever, dude. Oh my god, she's so sweet. She's actually just like a fucking pile of honey. Oh my god. Audrey's adorably cute, dude. What's going on? Klein was stunned. He nearly forgot he was wearing the facade of Gehrman. This was a request he had never heard of before. Klein hesitated. Finally, he pretended to say coldly, with the world's identity, since you requested, I wish you happiness. Literally that meme yesterday. Wait, which meme? Audrey's smile turned into a beaming smile. I wish you happiness too. Mr. World, you don't always have to keep everything inside. Smile more and be happier. It will eliminate a lot of latent problems. Alright, your mental problems have been resolved, but you need a follow-up appointment in a few days or in a week. Klein was at a loss as he tersely acknowledged with affirmation. Then he heard the door on the side creak open. With a fool's angle, he saw Miss Justice retreat from the confessional to straighten her body. Everything is depressed, alternate life is getting... True. Then he heard... After sending her to the real world, Klein didn't stay above the grey fog. He left and got into bed. At that moment, his condition had been restored. With his body and mind at ease, he realized something. He digested quite a bit of his Marionettis potion. The progress surpassed his expectations. We all need an Audrey in our lives. I know. She was like, wish me well. And he was like, I wish you well. And she's like, I wish you well too. That's so sweet, you know? We all need a friend like Audrey. Not someone, maybe not someone you have all the time, but like someone you can always call upon, like when you're having a rough time. And you're like, hey, like I just feel like I'm having a rough moment. They're like, Bucks, dude, don't worry about it. Let me pop over. We'll talk about it. You'll be okay. You know, that kind of friend. This is because I relied on my marionette to fool a demigod, Panatia, and orchestrated her and Mr. A to complete my planned out performance at Foggy Town. Therefore, apart from trying to hide behind the shadows and let every marionette have their own persona, quick question. Technically, what Klein did to Panatia, could that have counted as the ritual for, to become a Bizarro sorcerer? And then, if he had his fully digested potion and had a potion ready, could he have done that and as soon as she gets strung up, drink the potion and be okay? Would that have counted? Obviously, he can't use it now in the... No, oh, no audiences. True. Oh, I see. Yeah, because it said they're in front of a large audience or whatever. Oh, okay. So who is going to be this audience? Who's going to be this demigod that we fucking kill? Is it going to be Ints? Fuck them. Let's do Ints. We're the audience as the reader? I don't think that would count. I think that gets very meta, yeah. Therefore, apart from trying to hide behind the shadows and let every marionette have their own persona, the marionettist principles include use one's marionette as a guide to control the enemy to play the role of a puppet. Klein thought as he muttered inwardly, he believed that he could digest the potion before the end of the year. End of the year? Nah, brother, we got a month. Chop. What are you gonna let fucking Cat Leia be a demigod before you? Fuck that. Nah, bitch. We gotta beat her, bro. In the basement of St. Samuel Cathedral, Leonard, Cindy, and Bob looked up at the captain. West drank a mouthful of coffee and said, "The servant has been found." And in the room he was left in, there were some clothes left behind by the infiltrator. It has been confirmed that it belonged to the crazy adventurer, Gehrman Sparrow, who was previously active at sea. Leonard was puzzled as he asked, when did he come to Backland? No one knows. The only thing that can be confirmed is this lunatic has appeared at sea in the recent few weeks and had hunted a few pirates. The Church of Storm knows more. MI9 knows quite a bit. The higher-ups will send people to liaise with them. Just as West finished his briefing, a telegram was sent over. It came from the Nighthawks in Desi and said, Dwayne Dantas' present identity is fake. In the past 10 years, he spent time in the southern continent. He relied on adventuring to amass a fortune. Further confirmation will require time, as this place is chaotic and there are often wars, and jurisdictions are often changed. Guess whose bounty is going up? Oh shit, bro. Klein is eventually just going to be like, hey, let's get a marionette, change his appearance to let's make a pirate a marionette, change his appearance to Gehrman, like a evil pirate that he was always going to kill anyway, take his head off, and then deliver him for the 80,000 pound bounty or whatever. Like, once it gets to 100,000, Klein is just like, bro, I'll just kill him myself. Fuck it. 850. The devil is in the details. Alright, we're probably not going to read too much this morning, just because, you know, there was a lot yesterday, and I don't want to overdo it. Imagine Gehrman kills Gehrman and collects Gehrman's bounty based. They use divination to confirm, but it would be a funny thing. I feel like Klein with the Grey Fog could avoid the divination, because think about it. If he can bring down the Grey Fog as a sequence 5, he should be able to take the Grey Fog and extend it to others as a demigod, maybe. So, like, he kills the guy, then extends the Grey Fog to him to a degree to cancel out any divinations, and then bang. Sounds like a contrived story. Ever since the new sea route was discovered, and there's been no end to stories of people becoming rich from taking risks. Celeste commented, I recall that we investigated Dwayne before and had an exchange with him in his dreams. Yes. I didn't directly ask about such matters, but I could tell that Dwayne was familiar with the southern continent. He had plenty of experience there. He cannot control the Grey Fog like that outside. Yet, but I feel like as a demigod, maybe he could. There might be information that Dwayne has deliberately revealed to you. Leonard, who had his doubts, believing that there was another layer of disguise to the undying monster. So West didn't pay much attention to the matter and said, "Do you have any problems with any clues related to Gehrman? Since this lunatic was still at sea in the recent few weeks, when did he come to Backland? What I'm concerned about isn't the time, but whether he has the time to travel to Backland. After all, we're rather far." In the meeting, a deacon raised the question. According to the time and venue of Gehrman's last sighting, he normally has no way of traveling to Backland. Of course, I'm referring to normal circumstances. The missing servant told us that when he was sweeping the square, he lost control of his body, froze on the spot, and was unable to cry for help. He then saw bright colors like an abstract oil painting and felt his body was floating upwards. Later, he lost consciousness and found himself in the Eastborough room. The former matches with the keeper's description of being possessed by a wraith, and the latter is suspected to be a traveler's teleport. If he really is teleport, then Gehrman can show up in Backland any time. As elites of the Nighthawks, the Red Gloves knew about various Beyonder powers better than their colleagues at the same level. It's rumored that the Admiral of Blood, who was hunted by Gehrman, is a wraith. The details match. As for Gehrman being able to obtain the powers of a wraith, it wasn't unacceptable. The easiest method was to find an artisan to make a mystical item. Cindy recalled even more. It said that Gehrman has the ability to change his appearance, and the infiltrator disguised himself as a keeper. Another detail matched. Excellent thinking. So West... Oh, wait, that's why. Oh, fuck's sakes. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think she's running out of accounts. Eventually, there's gonna be overlap. By the way, Dr. Z, how come you keep changing accounts now? I thought that was just for Faceless, no? My hair is cut off. That's silly. No. It's still cut off. You're taking the fucking piss, right? Come on. Okay, there we go. I do need to get my hair cut, though. Well, no, it's actually fine. That's not bad. Wrongs? I could lose 80% of my hair, and I promise I would still have thicker hair than fucking anyone else here, okay? My hair is so thick, and God, I love it, okay? That's the one thing you can't sass me on. You can sass me on whatever. You want to say I'm old, that whatever? I got no issues. Fuck them. Not the hair, bro. Not the hair. Look at this. You kidding me with this? Shido, how's it going, man? How you doing? According to the details, we can come up with preliminary consensus that the infiltrator is Gehrman. And this way, the name list we came up with might be erroneous. Gehrman doesn't need a companion to frequently come to the Cathedral to pray to gather information. He can change his appearance every day and enter to figure out the situation. This will be more indiscreet than using a companion. In the largest and most holy cathedral of the Evernight in Backland, the number of believers that came to the St. Samuel Cathedral on a daily basis was too many to count. No bishop could remember everyone. I feel Leonard and Klein are about to meet soon. Didn't you just have the Capim fight, Shido? Didn't they meet? Even if you become Benson or Dunhaired, we'll still love you. I appreciate that, but look at this thing. God. Huh. That also means that the names we have here are meaningless, Leonard asked. That's somewhat obvious. Our focus now should be on Gehrman. The other targets can be placed aside as we do the most basic level of surveillance. Alright, get busy. Leonard didn't have any objections. He hoped to find the Hive Mind, Punishers, and MI9 to get some information. Captain fight didn't... Yeah, no, it didn't involve Leonard. I was just asking. On Tuesday morning, Klein woke up naturally, feeling relaxed and calm. What's happening right now, Shido? Where are you? Yeah, I remember Nagito. He had the feeling of joyful emotion slowly coming to life. A psychiatrist beyond her powers are quite useful after all. It matches the extremely infectious optimism that Miss Justice brings with her. Klein got up and drew the curtains. Nagito, shut the fuck up. I won't spoil, bitch. Who do you think you're talking to? Chill. Second, I'll use the identity of Dwayne and control over Marionette to orchestrate scripts to expedite the digestion of the process. He's now investigating the devil owner with the red gloves. Ooh, okay. Third, during this process, I'll gather ingredients for the potion. In that regard, I can ask Little Son about Bizarro Bane to see if he has any clues. I'll get Azek's help regarding the Spirit World Plunderer. After all, the Underworld is part of the Spirit World. Leonard, that is? Yeah. Okay. Fourth, I'll continue investigating the Great Smog of Backland and find the true culprit, including Ince, as well as the demigod that killed the crazy captain. There aren't any targets more suitable than them for my advancements. However, I have to be careful of 008. I have to constantly keep watch of any intentional coincidences. I'll just dabble in the matter in an ordinary manner and mainly provide support. The dangerous investigations can be handed over to Trissy. As Klein's thoughts progressed slowly, he thought he was still... although he felt fearful and worried, this no longer affected his state and capacity to take action. 20-ish more chapters until he becomes faceless? Nagito, bro, what do you want me to do? Demon, how's it going? Demon King, how you doing? No, old Neil's teacher spoiled the Secret Seven of Seer. Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that, Demon King. Well, I mean, I didn't see it, but Romero told me about it. Yeah. And apparently, wait, is it true that they described the powers too? Klein's thought process became clear. No, okay. Soon he opened the door while feeling surprised as he saw his valet and butler. The gentleman wearing a white gloves bowed and said, "Good morning, sir. There's only one item on your schedule today. It's to join an event of the East Balam Military Veterans Mess with a Member of Parliament Mach at 3 in the afternoon." Yeah, that's too much. Bro, you wanted to just say magician? Maybe that'd be fine. You gotta describe the powers? Because that was like the most hype thing. When Klein became a magician, it was like, bang, he now has air bullet. He now has flame jump. Flame controlling, like all this shit, bro. Oh, it was so hard. Sorry, Shida. We don't mean to kick you out, man. We don't want to spoil anything for you, and there's like really, really important stuff happening, and I don't want to spoil any of this for you. Please, send a message in the Discord. We'll talk after. Okay, I promise. I just don't want to spoil you on anything, man. He's a new member of Parliament, so accept his invitation. So, by accepting his invitation, it will indicate your political inclinations. You still have the opportunity to be hesitant about it. There's no need. It's my first choice. It'll be my first time visiting the East Balam Military Veterans Mess. What should I take note of? Praise their work that they have established in East Balam? Use this opportunity to make some donations? There's no need to give too much or too little. £500 is a rather suitable sum. £500? No matter which circle I enter, I have to spend so much money. This is because Dwayne doesn't have any birthright or background. I can only open a path with cash. Klein nodded with a butler's suggestion. At the same time, he did a count of his present assets. The artisan that hasn't completed the work regarding the Ocean Songster, but the money for Mentor of Disorder and Druid have been obtained. That's a total of £16,000. With the cash I originally had on hand, subtracting the $13,000 used to purchase the 3% of the Coin Company shares, as well as the daily expenses of a tycoon household and donations at the Cathedral, there's still £23,985? When it rains, it pours. He's got money. He's chilling. What? In addition, I still owe Miss Messenger 3,413 gold coins. 500 pounds has already exceeded 2% of the cash I have on hand. 2% chill. Klein didn't speak further as he walked out of the bedroom, going to the second floor where the dining room was to have his breakfast. In the basement of the St. Samuel Cathedral, Leonard returned to his office earlier. He had already obtained a bunch of relevant documents and learned of an inconspicuous matter. Prince Edisac, who passed away in the Great Smog of Backland, once hired a private detective to investigate the death of the equestrian teacher, Talum Dumas. That detective was Sherlock Moriarty. Oh, he's good. He's fucking good. If I didn't know Leonard's sequence, I would think he's a sequence 7 detective, bro. What a guy. As expected, there are hints of being involved in the Great Smog of Backland. Leonard was so delighted as he excitedly ruffled his hair. Following that, he pounded down at the documents on his desk, planning to seek out even more clues. However, he suddenly felt silent and said, before raising his cup in embarrassment and drinking coffee, and mumbled, "What did I want to do? I forgot about it after the pounding." You forgot about it after the pounding? Very sussy. After some careful recall, Leonard finally recalled what it was, pulled out his drawer and took out a tarot cards. He then found the Fool and placed it on the piece of paper and wrote on it 3 names: Sherlock, Gehrman, Dwayne. After some hesitation, Klein drew a line linking the 3 members to the Fool card, indicating that they might very well be members of the organization believing in the Fool. Among them, he was most unsure of Gehrman's identity as he wrote with a question mark. Later, Leonard took out the Emperor card and stuck it beside the name Sherlock, as he labeled it suspected to be. Oh, he's so clever. He's suspecting he's the hero bandit Black Emperor. Gehrman and Dwayne each correspond to a card. Leonard mumbled silently as he took out the adventurer records and began reading them. Suddenly he found a date familiar: early January. Gehrman's first appearance was in early January. Is he thinking what I think he's thinking? Leonard drew a gasp as he flipped through another set of documents. At the end of December, Sherlock left Backland and headed for a vacation and hasn't yet returned. End of December, early January. Leonard mumbled inwardly as he drew a dotted equal sign between Sherlock and Gehrman. This great detective is the key. Leonard found Sherlock's portrait as he drew via ritual as he began looking at it. After considering the point that looked unchanged, he began imagining the detective in different disguises. As he did it, Leonard's gaze couldn't help but frown. He's not gonna get Klein, is he? Because Sherlock is just Klein with a beard and the glasses. Is he gonna get it? Leonard stared intently at the portraits of Sherlock. His brain had just imagined what the latter would look like without glasses or beard. Leonard increasingly found Sherlock very familiar, as though he had known him before. How is this possible? He's dead. I buried him with my own hands. Leonard couldn't help but shake his head. Just as he said that, his expression froze because in his memories, this person had a huge secret. This person strangely escaped the influence of 249. He used 249's uniqueness to finish off a sequence 7 when he was only a sequence 9. This person had managed to summarize the acting method within a very short amount of time and advanced to sequence 8 extraordinarily fast. This person possesses a high sequence sun domain charm and used it with Captain Dunn, who wielded the Saint's Ashes to finish off Megos. No. Go talk to him. He's your friend. No. This is so cooked. This is so cooked. That's your friend. He finally got it. This person's sequence 8 characteristic had been taken away by In Zong Will, but the Captain Dunn's sequence 7 was left behind. Perhaps it wasn't because Ince had taken away the Beyonder characteristic, but that it never formed to begin with. Leonard suddenly jolted to his senses, and he squeezed through his teeth. Klein Moretti. He found that the mysterious detective Sherlock looked more and more like his former teammate, the hero who saved Tingen, Klein Moretti. And this was under the scenario of him being without clear discrepancies of glasses and a beard. Leonard had fingers clenched tightly at some point as his joints suffused with a whiteness. After a while, he let out a clear pant as he picked up Sherlock's dossier again. This time, he flipped with a target in mind, roughly to the time when Sherlock appeared in Backland, early September, not long after Klein had been buried. Leonard's green eyes turned dark as he succinctly flipped through the dossier. Then he saw a name, Lanavis, one of the masterminds behind the evil god's descent in Tingen. And Sherlock Moriarty's second record in Backland was an investigation regarding Lanavis. After this, the true creator's plan of descent was foiled and Lanavis died in the sewers due to the hero bandit. He didn't forget the harm that swindler brought. He flipped through the documents and sat in his chair. After a while, although it looked like he'd fallen asleep, after a few seconds, Leonard finally moved, leaned into his chair and said, "Old man, do you think Sherlock resembles Klein? The one who joined the Nighthawks because of the indigenous family notebook?" "Yes. There's some resemblance." After receiving Leonard once again, after a long while, he took out a gold pocket watch and snapped it open to determine that it was still morning. Leonard snapped his pocket watch and stood up, nearly overturning the documents. He reached out his hand and held onto the documents. Then he left behind a note saying that he had found certain clues and planned to head out to do some investigation, thus making it possible that he would return very late. Let me see if someone is pretending to be Tingen's hero, or if you've always been wearing masks. A secret organization member who snuck into the Nighthawks. Your motives aren't much loftier than Ince. You were also targeting something behind Chanis Gate. Yes, but he just wanted a formula, bro. That's hardly the same as I'm gonna take the ashes of a saint. In Hillston Borough, outside a building with quite a number of unique architecture, Dwayne got off the carriage and saw the building built in the style of the Fourth Epoch. The building was mostly comprised of huge stone slabs, creating a total of 4 stories. This was the East Balam Military Veterans Mess. Why is it a mess? Why can't you guys keep it clean? Sorry, dumb joke. I can't. I can't help but make those. Okay, sue me. Well, he didn't harm anyone. He wasn't taking like the ashes of a saint which would compromise all of China's Gate and its security and stuff. He wanted a fucking formula. He wanted a book. That's hardly the same. He wanted I feel like the Indigenous Family Notebook is ranked, or it's grade 2, right? Or is it grade 1? Yeah, username. I'll check it out, yeah. Klein waved his cane and pointed to the building before him and said, "It has quite a historic feel." Member of Parliament Macht nodded. Even though it's a building built in an ancient style, it has more than 100 years of history. As he spoke, he led Dwayne into the club and said to the lady at the reception, "Dwayne Dantas, unofficial member. I'll be his recommender." It's grade 1? Okay, well, no. The ashes were grade 0, no? Are they not? Or was it also grade 1? With that said, he turned to the tycoon and explained, "Not only have you not served in East Balam, but you have never participated in wars that happened there. You don't even have military background, so there's no way for you to be an official member. However, being an unofficial member will allow you to get free entry and the use of various facilities. You'll be able to enjoy delicious food and get to know some friends. That's all I was hoping for." No, great. Yeah, okay. Okay, damn, I was just asking. After the beautiful lady who's of southern continent descent finished their registration, Macht added, "There's no admission fee. It's £60 a year for the membership." With that said, he chuckled. "It's not expensive, even more so for you. Here, you will come into contact with all kinds of weapons. There is enough shooting range to provide you with some practice, and you can even learn horseback riding." Grade 1 is demigod, 0 is angel or god. Okay, sounds good. "This place is filled with glory. I'm deeply impressed with your contribution in East Balam," Klein said to Macht. "If I were to contribute to the cause, who should I look for?" "Just give it to her," Macht pointed to the receptionist. "She will jot it down and announce it on the board later." "All right." Klein then shook his head and made Richardson take out the £500 he had prepared. After giving the donation, Klein passed through the beautifully decorated foyer with Macht, arriving at a room that resembled an activity room. As for his valet, Richardson remained outside in the break room. There were snacks, tea and coffee there. I feel bad for Leonard suffering from survivor's guilt. Yeah. He's probably had a really rough time. In the small room, through Macht's introduction, grade 2 is mid-sequence, grade 3 is low-sequence. Ah, okay. After giving the donation, no, I already read that. In the small room, through Macht's introductions, Klein got to know 5 officers who were either still in service or retired. Apart from the particular House of Commons member of Parliament, the highest-ranking epaulet was Colonel Cavan. He was presently working at the Lone Kingdom's Ministry of Defense. As for what Klein knew, for quasi-high-ranking members of the military, they were mostly beyonders, mid-sequencers. Macht, Calvin, and company quickly began chanting. Klein didn't interject as he seriously listened to their conversation. Calvin turned his head to say to Dwayne, I heard you were often active in West Balam?" "Yes, that place is more chaotic than East Balam. Of course, Intus made too many mistakes over there. How is your relationship with people from Intus?" "It's alright. They're all very greedy, though." In fact, he didn't know a single one. He had only heard Anderson mention it a few times. Calvin nodded and raised another question. "Are you familiar with the tribes over there, as well as the resistance?" "I know some," Klein answered. He only knew one Intus military leader of a resistance, Queen Mystic Bernadette. Calvin laughed and took a sip from his red wine. During this process, no one spoke. Let me... After putting down his cup, Kevin looked at Dwayne and said again, "This is the thing. Every year we would obsolete too many rifles and cannons, and directly destroying them or processing them is too much of a waste. It's not a good solution." Leonard isn't just talking about the ashes, he's also oh, true, yeah. "I'm not sure if you're interested in buying a batch and selling it to West Balam. You can sell it to the regions ruled by Intis, selling them to the tribes in resistance. Trust me, this is a very lucrative business. Of course, it's also very dangerous. If you're caught by Intis in West Balam, we will disavow you." This is making me an arms dealer? This is one of the most lucrative businesses. Although I'm not familiar with West Balam and lack connections, I can sell it to Queen Mystic or the resistance in the Rorstad Archipelago. Klein was tempted as he wore a mixed look of hesitance. "I've never done such a thing, but it's definitely attractive." Kevin laughed. "There's no need to rush a decision. This is a very important and serious matter. Give it some thought. Just give your answer to Macht before the end of the week." "Alright," Klein heaved a sigh of relief. "Tingen City, Raphael Cemetery. Is he gonna dig up his corpse? I mean, it's not gonna be there. Is he gonna dig up his coffin? In the afternoon sun. Although the afternoon sun was strong, this place remained cold and gloomy. Leonard was standing in front of a grave, silently staring at the tombstone. Fuck! No! All this planning and this fucking poet fucks me. God damn it, you piece of shit. Okay, sorry. Username sent me something on Discord. Let's just check it out really quick. How do you feel digging your best friend's grave and finding it empty? I would never dig my best friend's grave. He's like, wait a minute. Love this. You son of a bitch. Very good, very good. The sun hung brightly in midair in a dark, silent corner of the cemetery. Leonard raised his shovel beside him. The two mounds of soil to the side gradually raised in height as the coffin pit became obvious. From time to time, there would be a passerby, but they didn't notice anything, as though a dream was happening over there. Finally, Leonard threw the shovel and bent down, grabbed the ends of the coffin with both hands. With immense strength, he pulled open the wooden lid and discovered the thick, long nails had fallen to the side at some point. There was nothing inside the coffin. Nothing. Leonard continued keeping his body hunched as he silently watched the scene without any movement. He stood there like a statue. In his hazy dream, Klein saw a tombstone with an epitaph. It stood silently among other tombstones. The scene shattered because Klein snapped awake. He confirmed that he was still Dwayne and he was still in 160 Bauckland Street. She knows. That fucking annoying ass song. The dream seemed to be telling me something. As a seer, Klein treated every dream seriously. This was no exception. There was a tomb. Represents a deceased or someone resurrecting. The crimson moonlight represents the goddess, corresponding to the Evernight Church and the Nighthawks. If I were to directly see the moon, it might involve the primordial moon, the vampire ancestor Lilith, and the mother tree of desire. The tomb was dyed in a color almost resembling blood. That means something bad. As Klein did an interpretation of his dream, he gathered all the contents and attempted to make an effective conclusion. After some thought, he began to believe that the dream's revelation was referring to the past him and the Evernight Church. My boyfriend's alive! After some careful thought, he began to believe that the revelation was referring to the past him and the Evernight Church. After making the connections of what happened the past few days, Klein came to an answer. As Dwayne has repeatedly headed for the Cathedral, he must have been added to a list of suspects. If Leonard hasn't left Backlund, this must have garnered his attention. After all, he knows that Dwayne isn't a simple person and has mysterious origins. Merlin, how's it going, man? How you doing? As an angel from the Marauder pathway, Leonard's grandpa probably discovered that the Grey Fog in the Seer pathway has intricate ties, and knows that the Sequence Zero is the Fool. This way, they will naturally be able to make connections with the honorific name of the Fool that was previously spread, and they would believe that I'm a member of a secret organization that worships the Fool. And developing this clue, they can involve the person who killed Lanavis and use tarot cards. Along with the Gearman clues I deliberately left behind, as well as Leonard's previous investigation into Sherlock, it's not impossible for him to put things together and find things highly dubious. And in the beginning, Sherlock's disguise wasn't too good. As long as Leonard investigates it seriously, it wouldn't be hard to discover that the great detective resembles his former colleague, so he went to Tingen to dig up the grave. As he thought about it, Klein pulled back a cushion over and sat up. He felt that he had already found the answer to his dream. He began seriously analyzing what could happen next, if he should abandon the identity of Dwayne. Leonard has no way of conveying his theories and conclusion to the Nighthawks because he won't be able to explain the key points for his inference. It will expose his own secret. Based on my experience and understanding of him, he will steer the matter via different matters. This will be more complicated and troublesome, wasting even more time. Before that happens, I should find him and give him another warning. It should snuff out whatever's on his mind. After all, the church didn't suffer any material loss, nor did anyone die. Bro, he's your friend. Just tell him. Why doesn't Klein just, like, I don't mean for you. You don't need to tell him that you're the fool, but, like, just tell him, like, hey, dog, it's me. I'm alive. I couldn't come back because I didn't know what the fuck y'all would think. Is that crazy? Couldn't Klein just go, like, hey, listen, I survived. I don't know how. I couldn't come back to the Nighthawks because these guys were going to think I was fucking crazy or whatever. So I was like, oh, fuck it, But you gotta threaten him, he's your friend. Yes, for Dwayne, I've taken note of the time. I specifically created tracks of my activity in the southern continent over the past few months, staggering it with the decline of Gearman's sighting. And this involves the Intis colonies, so it'll be hard to verify the matter. This also means that Leonard has, at best, figured out that Gearman is Sherlock equals Klein. He will just believe that I'm in cahoots with them, parts of a secret organization. To him, Dwayne is a powerful, mysterious beyonder who can sense the grandpa in him, a demigod, an obvious discrepancy with the other identities. Soon, Klein came up with countermeasures as he turned his attention to the matter he encountered in East Balam. Why would they directly seek me out for such a private arms deal? I established a friendship with Mach and haven't experienced any tests. I don't deserve such a trust. Perhaps it's a test. He's gonna be sent to Chanis Gate and experimented on? Bro. I feel like you tell Leonard and then you play it by ear. Listen, Klein did everything he wanted to with Dwayne Dantas, okay? We got the Bizarro Sorcerer Potion formula. So worst case scenario, if Klein Or worst case scenario, if Leonard does want to betray him and want to send him to Chinese Gate, he can just use the Traveler and yoink out of there. In the beginning, it'll just be cannons and rifles. The quantity probably limited, nor will it involve high-value items. Furthermore, I'll need to come up with cash before receiving the goods. If I have any real problems, they won't suffer any losses. They will only suffer the repercussion of a small batch of weapons falling into the hands with their own domain of control. Don't forget his siblings. What if they suspect Benson and Melissa? Yeah, but I would assume Leonard would already have that thought anyway. And at that point, telling the truth would be a lot better than hiding it. Because if you hide it and Leonard runs out of runs out of places to ask questions, now he's gonna go ask Benson and Melissa. But if you tell them what happened, it's less likely that he goes to Benson and Melissa. Yes, to them, a tycoon like me with a complicated background and deep understanding of West Balam is an excellent choice. I have the money, I have the guts, and I have the resources and connections to be able to sell the weapons. Fourth, I have no background in the upper echelon of the kingdom. I can always be made the scapegoat and abandoned. Bro forgot the quill. They must have sent people to monitor me in secret. As long as this business is smoothly completed, I'll be a close partner with the military. This will aid in my investigation of the truth behind the Great Smog of Backland. The problem is that I now have zero actual knowledge of West Balam's resistance and the tribes. And I don't know where Anderson is or any method to contact him. Danitz might be aware of the situation in West Balam, same for the Hermit, likewise for Queen Mystic. I'll gather intelligence from these channels. Having made up his mind, Klein's working brain slowed down as a sense of drowsiness washed over him again. It let his body slide down bit by bit as he got under the blankets. Who do you think is the smartest character shown yet? Erdas. In the basement of St. Samuel Cathedral, Leonard, who had returned from Tingen, managed to be in time for the team's meeting. Celeste briefed them. With the help of the Holy Cathedral, St. Anthony has confirmed that the infiltrator is Gehrman. The conclusion is that this lunatic is alive, but doesn't exist in this world. This is a contradictory statement. I don't understand it well. His Grace didn't explain anything either. In short, our focus is investigating Gehrman. According to the info provided by MI9, Gehrman is a fake identity. He originally came from Backland. After Celeste finished, he asked, "Do you have anything to add?" Leonard was about to say something, but he fell silent. "Leonard, did you discover any clues?" "That clue's been eliminated," Leonard shrugged. Celeste didn't ask further and looked at the other teammates. Not all know smart, but clever smart. Ince? So far, I would probably have to give it to Ince. He sat there silently as he raised his hand to comb through his hair, preparing to take action. The first stream he entered wasn't anyone on the list. His target was Dwayne Dantas. After repeated considerations, he wanted to speak to this secret organization member, an undying monster from the Fourth Epoch, to see what information he could sound out. Although this looked rash, but with both parties knowing each other's secrets, it was a good choice. 160 Bauckland Street. Klein's drowsy mind suddenly became clear as he knew that someone had entered his dream. Leonard Mitchell. I haven't gone looking for you and you come to my doorstep? The other Nighthawks would knock on the door before entering. Only you would jump onto balconies. Klein lampooned as the poet approached. At this moment, in Leonard's eyes, Dwayne was still wearing a formal suit in his dream. His sideburns were gray and he had an angular face. At this moment, the tycoon wore a smile as though he wasn't hiding the fact that he remained lucid. "Didn't Pala Zoroast teach you some manners?" Klein asked. Pala, Zoro asked. He's warning me again. Leonard was taken aback. Please, pardon the intrusion, but you're on the investigation list. Was the infiltration done by you guys? Is that your goal for coming to Backland? No. It's not us, but just him alone. He put on an act that he wasn't afraid of Leonard knowing. Gehrman? Leonard asked. Isn't that obvious? What does he want to do? He didn't take anything, Leonard asked. What do you think the answer is? Klein chuckled. 853. Comparison of experience in sophistry. Sophists. Fuck these guys. I still remember Dunn visiting Klein's dream and eating his food. I know, you. What a dick. What do I think? If I knew, why the hell would I be here? Leonard mumbled over the words. During this process, he discovered that although he was standing straight and looking at Dwayne, the tycoon, who was sitting leisurely in a chair, held the aura of having an advantage, like a high-ranking personage casually listening to a subordinate's report. I believe that he, or all of you, are searching for something. Back in Tingen, he infiltrated the Nighthawks to search for something. In Backland, he infiltrated Chanis Gate. His search was fruitless at the time, so he escaped by feigning death by using Izongwil's assault. He failed to find it a second time, hence he didn't take anything and left. While speaking, Leonard used a certain tone to divulge that he knew that Gehrman was Sherlock was Klein. He also wished to use the effect of pressure to make Dwayne not appear that calm. He went to dig my grave, Klein sighed inwardly as he chuckled. Do you think that we would consecutively make 2 rash attempts before having any confirmed intel? You should know that such matters can only be done once. Once there's a failure, there's no way for it to succeed again. Therefore, who would use an operation to verify one's guess when the target isn't clear? He has tacitly confirmed my explanation. Klein is Gehrman, the hero bandit, a member of the secret organization. So it's nothing that was. So it's not that nothing was found, but it's that there was a failure due to other factors. During these 2 attempts, Tingen City's St. Selena Cathedral and Backland's St. Samuel Cathedral only shared 2 items. Sealed artifact 249 and the Indigenous Family Notebook. Indigenous Family Notebook? That's it? Klein joined the Nighthawks because of it. Our brains aren't just there for show. Klein chuckled. If his goal was the Indigenous Family Notebook, there was no need for him to join the Nighthawks. Before you obtained it, he had plenty of opportunities. And even after you obtained it, he had no lack of opportunities to obtain it. You should understand the situation better than I do. Also, since the target was the notebook, why didn't he take it away? Upon being mocked by Dwayne Dantes, Leonard realized that the theory he came up with on the spot was filled with contradictions. He then took a deep breath. Then why would he infiltrate Chanis Gate using 2 different methods? And not only was nothing taken away, but he didn't even leave anything behind. He entered a strange state. I'm not sure if the reason for the latter. Perhaps you should ask the goddess, Klein smiled. The goddess? What does he mean? He found it unimaginable as to what happened in St. Samuel's Chanis Gate. Right on the heels of that, Dwayne said with a deep laugh, "Ha ha ha. As for your first question, I believe you are mistaken about something. Our organization's members come from different places and join for different reasons, choosing to change their own faith in the process. As for what happened before, their lives are their own. Like myself, I too have a past and a present. The reason why I came here is because the last name I gave myself." Dantes, the return of the Count? He joined the secret organization for a revenge? Leonard nodded in thought. Klein paused for a few seconds and casually sipped the wine and wore a smile. Similarly, he who was resurrected because of the family notebook's curse does it for vengeance. Klein had deliberately mentioned his last name Dantes and mentioned a revenge to preemptively distinguish himself from Gehrman and Klein, to prevent Leonard from later finding similarities between the two again and making a deeper connection. By personally mentioning it, it framed the listener's thought process and made them subconsciously follow the logic of the content, thus treating Dwayne and Klein as different people. The only similarity was of revenge. Vengeance. Who does he seek revenge on? Lanavis and Insongwil. Insongwil. Leonard blurted out as he couldn't help but have an expression that changed as he fell silent. His eyes looked ahead, unfocused, his thoughts a mystery. So Klein is doing it. So Klein is basically doing what I thought, but he's just putting in a safeguard in the process. Instead of just saying like, hey, I'm Klein, who's Sherlock, who's Gehrman, who's Dwayne, he's saying Klein is Sherlock, who's Gehrman, and I am Dwayne. But he has the same goals as you. So, like, if you're game to play, he could maybe play with you. He's putting in a safeguard in case, like you guys were saying, if Leonard decides, like, no, fuck it, like, he was cheating us, or gotta put him in jail, grumble, rule of the law, Klein could be like, damn, sucks to be him, and then peace out. After a long silence, Leonard exhaled and asked with a hoarse voice, Lanavis was really killed by him? Of course, Klein sighed. Leonard's mouth turned agape as he once again wished to say something, but didn't. Realizing that his goals had been met, he changed his topic and chuckled. If you have similar goals or require help, you can also chant his honorific name. Perhaps you too will receive a response. Leonard is going to go above the gray fog and then be able to join the tarot club, become the star. Milos loses his mod powers, and then Leonard can ask to communicate in private with the world, and then they could get and then they could figure out their stuff. That might work. That secret existence, the fool? Leonard imagined that Dwayne was habitually proselytizing and attempting to develop the secret organization. Therefore, he didn't directly think further and replied with silence. Klein then laughed. By the way, Wes, how's it going, man? How you doing? Help me pass a message to Pala Zoroast. One of our organization's members encountered the blasphemer Amon in the land forsaken by the gods. The land forsaken by the gods that even the 7 churches can't find? They have a member who can enter? The blasphemer Amon? Old man once mentioned that he's hiding from a high sequence beyonder with the last name Amon. He was injured by Amon and had no choice but to parasitize me. Dwayne's tone and attitude really is like an undying monster from the 4th epoch. He's also at the same level of the old man. In front of him, I don't feel any sense of superiority. I feel like I lack any confidence. Leonard forced himself to focus. I'll pass on the message. Based on the circumstances, after Leonard enters the dream of others, it can be determined that the grandpa doesn't have complete control of his senses. Otherwise, he would have an abnormal reaction when he heard the name Amon. Previously, Will Ossepton also corroborated this point. Only when my dear poet encounters true danger would the grandpa sense it and take action. Very good. He isn't a full parasite. As Klein interpreted the unspoken information, he smiled. You may leave. You can also relax. My goal isn't the Evernight Church. My coming goals, not the ones of the past, Klein added inwardly. Leonard had received enough information and didn't overstay his welcome. He got up and bowed and left the dream. Leonard woke up and heard the aged voice from the parasite in him. What did he say? He admitted to being a member of the secret organization that believes in the Fool. Likewise for Klein being Gehrman. Their goal is vengeance. Did he say how Klein resurrected, or how he faked his death? The explanation he gave was a curse from the indigenous family notebook. Curse. At some point, Leonard discovered that Dwayne's choice of words was strange. He had described the power of resurrecting the dead as a curse. Pala Zoroast continued. What else did he say? No, I don't think Ramiro's here, Wes. Leonard didn't hide it from him as he answered. He mentioned the blasphemer Amon, saying that a member of the organization met him in the forsaken land of the gods. Old man, is that the Amon you mentioned? Probably. I believe that Dwayne Dantas, no, the fool that's backing him, might be an old friend of mine. Who do you think the fool is? What? Which old friend? The old man believes that he's at a higher level than Dwayne. He's a grounded angel? Are you going to find an opportunity to reveal the situation about Dwayne Dantas and Klein Moretti? Pallas asked. Not for now, Leonard said. Perhaps he and I, and them, have a chance of working together. And the church didn't suffer any material loss this time. The parasite inside him didn't say a word, as though he had fallen asleep. Leonard slowly looked up and read the information in front of him, as he muttered, He has overtaken me by leaps and bounds. Sarah, I know the whole pathway, brother. 0 to 9, so yeah. Oh, I see. You're referring to high sequence Beyonders. No, I don't think so. $8.54. Early morning, 160 Bauckland Street. Klein went above the grey fog. He then conjured the world to pray piously. Honorable Mr. Fool, pass on the message to Danitz. I need him to provide information on West Balam. It's best if he includes his connections. Also, get him to be careful on the Evernight Church for the time being. Above the Golden Dream, Danitz, who saw this sun earlier than Backlund, was holding a cup of beer. At this moment, the grey fog emanated in front of him, and he saw Gehrman's voice. There won't be much I can tell him about. This is so troublesome. I'll have to do all sorts of work again. Why does Gehrman have to be involved in so much stuff? He drew a breath upon considering how he wanted to become stronger. He didn't wish to be of no help when his captain met with danger again, having to shamefully hide in the back. Danitz stood up. He immediately left the shadows and found the iron skin and barrel. He asked them in detail about the West Balam situation and who he should ask about in certain matters. Only to get a unanimous reply: Captain Edwina or Anderson Hood. Will she be suspicious if I ask the captain? Making her believe that I have a secret and I'm working for someone else? But I don't know where the hell to find Anderson. Fuck. Danitz fell into a dilemma as he couldn't help but think about something else. Recalling Gehrman's last words, "Be careful of the Evernight Church." Danitz wasn't a fool. He knew that a matter that the crazy adventurer emphasized was something important. It meant that he believed that he had a high chance of being an important target of the Evernight Church. Apart from the Evernight Church and the Church of Storm and the military targeting me, it said that each have sent a squad. But I didn't do anything. After passing the message about gathering information on West Balam to Admiral of Stars Cat Leia, Klein left the area above the grey fog and returned to the real world. Wiz, do you think Palos was referring to when he mentioned a friend? So he is obviously referring to who I would assume is a high sequencer of the Seer pathway. I don't know of any high sequencers other than Zaratul, I guess. So I'll go with maybe he thinks it's Zaratul. I don't know. After passing the message about gathering information in West Balam to the Admiral of Stars Cat Leia, Klein left the grey fog and went to have breakfast and his lessons. After he woke up from his afternoon nap, he changed into a suit and told his valet head to the St. Samuel Cathedral. He had decided to continue maintaining his identity as Dwayne. He believed that it was best if he didn't change. His persona. Therefore, he didn't change the frequency of his trips to the cathedral, nor could he donate less. Besides, this can effectively wipe away any suspicion they have of me. After all, it's hard to imagine that the criminal who infiltrated Chanis Gate hadn't stayed behind, but would saunter into the cathedral as though nothing happened. I'll have to thank Roselle for not plagiarizing criminal psychology. Klein mumbled inwardly as he took a sip of the black tea that Richardson had brewed. After moistening his throat, what do you mean by that? He glanced at the valet and asked, "What is your deep impression of East and West Balam?" "East Balam is safe, West Balam is chaotic." After giving a simple answer, Richardson turned to look at the employer, only to see Dwayne Dantas with his eyes half closed. I know, right? She's so mean. Like, for herself, she's so she's so forgiving, you know? Like, she'll be... she's spoiled 400 times, and then when someone says like, "Hey, doctor, do you spoil all the time?" She's like, "I've been really good recently. I haven't spoiled in a while." She's so generous towards herself, and then she asks me like, "Hey, what's the can you calculate the mass of the sun?" And then it's like, I don't know. What a profound fucking disappointment. You know that? Like, you understand that I have to fucking listen to you? Do you understand how hard it is for me to listen to someone so fucking stupid? It's like, damn, okay, my bad. Shit. Richardson continued, "There's also poverty, hunger, and whip abuse. People from East and West Balam originally worshipped death. Later, due to the perks of believing in the deities like the Goddess, Lord of Storm, and EBS, allowing them to boost their statues and receive protection from the cathedral, there was a large-scale change of fate." After the digging part, rank the volumes. I think 4 is above 3 now. I think 4 is above 3. I think 4 is above 3 now. I think so. I think it goes 4, 3, 2, 1 now, which is cooked. I mean, it's good that he's improving every volume, but it's just becoming a reverse ordering. Like, at this point, it's like 5 is going to be better than 4 at this point. Like, this is crazy. However, as the number of believers increased, the special status was quickly removed. The people of the lower class began worshipping death in secret. It's more obvious for the messy Westbalam to regard this in regards to this point. The descendants of death often receive a great deal of support. That's what my father of mine occasionally mentions after he's drunk. Klein listened and didn't stop his valet's recounts, nor did he probe any further. Soon the carriage arrived outside the cathedral. Klein first looked at the sights of the flying white pigeons before entering the prayer hall. He found a seat at random and looked at the altar in darkness. He watched the stars and the dark sacred emblem as unease, embarrassment, and a lack of confidence arose in him. If he had guessed correctly, ever since he made contact with the holy sword and made a vow, the goddess likely took notice of him. Every time he enters the cathedral and pretends to pray, it had the feeling like the emperor's new clothes? What? It had the feeling like the emperor's new clothes? I don't know what that means. After about 8 minutes, I wonder what the goddess's opinion is on this, and what position is the church taken? I'll probe first. Klein clasped his nose and held it to his nose, looking as though he was praying piously. After about 8 minutes, he slowly got up, walked to the donation box, took out £50 and threw it in. After doing that, Klein returned to the confessional along to the sides of the hall and entered. Unlike most ancient confessionals, which were big wooden crates with 2 doors, the modern confessional was an independent, spacious compartment. The confessor and the listening bishop were separated by a wooden partition. Using the dim light, Klein sat on the chair. Do you have something to say? The goddess cares about all her believers. Chinese folklore about the emperor acting like he's gotten cool clothes and forcing others to believe so when he's walking around naked. Wait, what? It means he feels like he can't hide it. Oh, I see. That's cute. Oh, like basically the facade doesn't work on her. Oh, I see. Using the dim, Klein raised his right hand, tapped his chest, and said, "Praise the lady. I wish to confess that 2 days ago the military came to me, wishing that I can sell firearms and cannons to West Balam to add to the chaos." The confessional became instantly wrapped in an awkward silence. You became frightened just from that? Have you never encountered a confessor as frank as me? If I were to say that I was currently plotting the murder of a demigod while hiding from the mother tree of desire and the true creator, you'd be jumping up. Klein lampooned as he continued. I did enjoy the adventurer's life when I was young. I got my money through metal, fire, and blood, but I'm sick of that life. I wish for a peaceful future. I originally wanted to decline the offer, but I'm unable to overcome the greed in my heart. It is an enticing business. I confess that I ultimately chose the bustle and chaos. Do not be afraid. Do not waver. You do not have to feel guilt for some greed. As long as you don't harm the innocent or commit any crimes, go, follow your heart, and make your choice. Only this way can you understand the teachings and understand the truth of those words. That was sweet. There's no need to put on I called it in a Western style. I don't know if it's Chinese. I feel like the concept of emperor wouldn't exist in the Western, so. Well, no, sorry. When I say Western, I'm referring to like America. I guess it would in like Europe. There's no need to be put in a difficult position. Remember this. No matter what you do, sincerely being contrite and penitent is worthy of praise and forgiveness. Go sell firearms to the colonized countries as long as you don't harm our country. Dude, I'm actually a NA frog. It's crazy. Um, it's yeah, go yeah. It's like, my child, follow the greed in your heart. Sell those weapons. Far from our shores, of course. We would never want that over here. But like, you know, those people over there, sell those weapons, bro. What's the difference between emperor and king? I don't know. Emperor to me screams more of like a supreme emperor who cannot be questioned, whereas like a king feels more to me like a like someone who has like a council who advises him and is like, emperor ruled over kingdoms, king of kings. Okay. May the lady bless you. May the goddess bless you. Praise the lady. Klein drew the moon on his chest again. His visit to the cathedral was to use the opportunity of a confession to inform the church of his intentions of engaging in arms dealing to know their reactions. Without saying anything extra, Klein got up and left the confessional. He walked down to his valet. At this moment, he saw spirit medium Daly. Daly looked up and noticed Dwayne. Her expression momentarily turned adrift, as though she had fallen asleep while praying. Klein nodded at her indiscernibly as a polite gesture. He then took his hat and cane from Richardson and walked out. Damn, I really like Daly, dude. Daly retracted her gaze as she looked down at the pew in front of her while closing her eyes. Walking out of the cathedral, Klein stood by the side of the staircase and paused. The white pigeons suddenly flew up in the square up ahead, blocking the sights of those who were taking in the scenes. Less than 30 minutes later, in the basement, Leonard heard that Dwayne Dantas, who had previously been investigated, was about to cooperate with the officials and would sell weapons to the West Balam. What the hell is he trying to do? Leonard was at a complete loss. 8:55. All right. I think we'll read this one. I think this will be the last one, okay? As he returned from the cathedral to Bauckland Street, Klein saw his white-gloved butler, Walter, walk up to him. Sir, someone delivered a name card. He said that his employer wishes to visit you from 4 to 5. Who's the employer? Klein asked. Baron Sindris. He's visiting me personally for the shares. It's only worth about £13,000. Not worth all this. Samuel, this is my first web novel, so I don't have like a huge basis for comparison, in fairness. But as far as like isekais go, this is like, I was thinking about making a video about why, I think it was like the working title was something like, why you don't understand Lord of the Mysteries. And I was also just thinking partially I just do that for like, maybe I just do that as a short. Just because and it was like, think of a story with the world building of One Piece, with the power system of like Nen, like everything you can think of, every category you could think of in like in terms of fiction, you'd crank it up to like whatever the best of a thing that most people can agree on, like with the internal monologues and thought processes of like Death Note. Or maybe fucking Code Geass, whichever one you prefer, doesn't really matter. And then it's like, at that point, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry that 3 episodes in, you're kind of confused, dog. Kind of the point. Kind of intended to be. So... yeah, my opinions on it. I think it's mind games on the level of Usugwai. I have not read Usugwai, so I can't speak to that. I think it's so fucking well done, dude. The slow parts feel slow, but like a manageable slow. They don't feel like, ugh, I'm having to slog my way through this until we get to... No. It feels like even when Klein was, entered the persona of Dwayne. And he was just preparing to steal from the church and stuff. Like, all the thought processes were done really well. I especially like the whole, like, different personas for different volumes, because I feel like that's a really clever way to get rid of any staleness that might occur. Like, Klein is generally is a very serious person, so we find a way to offset that. Like, Klein in the first volume had Leonard too. Good lord. Had Leonard for some to lighten the mood a little bit. In volume 2, we had like the neighbor and like both the neighbors, like the lawyer Jurgen and the madam. I don't know, her name starts with a S. I can't remember this. Her in volume 3, we had Anderson and fuck. What was the other one's name? Holy fuck, I can't. Oh, Mrs. Sammers. Yes. Thank you, Kami. And what the fuck was the other guy's name? Am I losing my mind? Bro, how do I not remember his name? Danitz. Okay, we got there. Whew. Danitz and Emlyn. Yeah, exactly. Like, we have a really good ability to offset, like, really serious with, like, a little bit of goofy to make sure it doesn't get too heavy at any point. We also have the Tarot Club, which allows us a lot of focus on side characters, so it doesn't feel like just Klein is the main focus, even though Klein is the main focus. Like, it never feels like, oh, like, Audrey's life isn't fleshed out, or Alder's life isn't fleshed out, or Emlyn, or whoever. Like, all of these characters feel so good. So, like, it's so well done. Sir, if you don't wish to meet the Baron, I'll inform him that you got caught up at the Cathedral, and might be very late. This is a noble who has immense influence. I'll definitely come across him in the future, so I want to meet him. Arrange the meeting to be in the small living room on the second floor, where there's the most sunlight. According to what Klein knew, Baron Sindris was the third largest shareholder in Backland Bank, and the largest shareholder of Southville People's Bank. Alright, thanks for staying for so long, Luvian. See ya, buddy. We're almost done too. I think probably like 20 minutes, maybe. According to what Klein... Yes. Yes, sir. Walter didn't nag. At 4:10, Klein met the visitor. The only thing that was different and deviated from his expectations was that Backland turned cloudy after 3. Baron Sindris was identical to how he looked in the papers. He had black hair mixed with some white and was neatly combed backwards. His face was rather round, but it lacked the flesh needed to support it. His cheekbones were rather high and his wrinkles obvious. Am I crazy, or Baron Sindris? I feel like just because the whole vampire stuff, whenever I read Baron, I imagine that Baron Sindris is a fucking vampire. Unlike most Loanese at his age, Baron Sindris didn't have any facial hair. He was clean-shaven and his light blue eyes were nearly colorless. Beside him were his valet and a bodyguard, the kind of people that didn't attract much attention. Good afternoon, Lord Sindris. It's my pleasure to have you. You're quite polite. I should have visited you a long time ago. Dwayne Dantes, an experienced gentleman who knows much of the southern continent. After exchanging some pleasantries, the two took their seat while the valets and bodyguards settled by their sides. Dantes, I'm really impressed with people like you. Not everyone can obtain riches from the chaos. This requires plenty of guts and courage, as well as stunning judgment. Back when I was facing bankruptcy, I had entertained the idea of starting anew in the southern continent, but unfortunately I am not brave enough. Although Baron Sindris later became a noble, he wasn't a commoner in the true sense of the word. His grandfather and great-grandfather had benefited from the development of the colonies, earning them plenty of money from the sea trade. When it came to his generation, he blitzed into the developing banking industry with his wealth, becoming one of the earliest millionaires. Goddamn. During this process, the Baron had suffered 3 failures, but he overcame them one after another. The most harrowing incident was when the Southville People's Bank he founded suffered from a reputational crisis, nearly bankrupting him. He kept chatting about his experiences in the southern continent. Is he hinting to me that he's already discovered problems with my background and just using it as a warning? He probably never expected that the southern continent experiences he keeps repeating is all fake, Klein scoffed. He replied while looking absolutely normal. That isn't courage, but rashness. Most people who went to the southern continent to have adventure, but that's all they have. I nearly hired Mr. Reebok some time ago as my butler. He said that you were an excellent employer. That fills me with regret, the Baron replied. Back then, I was very sincere in hoping that Reebok could continue as being my butler, but he couldn't overcome the conflict in our positions. Upon saying that, Cindrus looked up at the handsome, elegant Dwayne Dantes. I sincerely hope that we can be friends. I hope that you can transfer the 3% of the coin company to me. I will give you an offer you can't resist. Here it comes. But I have my contract with Ma'am Mary. Klein smiled and said, I value my trustworthiness. Aren't you even going to listen to my offer? The Baron said. I'm afraid that I will find it irresistible. You're as humorous as they say. At the same time, you have a firm will that the rumors fail to mention. Being a partner with you is definitely better than being a competitor. All right, it's time that I leave. There are things that require my attention. Is this sincere praise or a threat? Klein wasn't a spectator, so he couldn't interpret the subtleties. All he could do was shamelessly reply, Likewise, I hope to have the opportunity to cooperate with you in the future, Lord Cindrus. Lord Cindrus smiled and nodded, and without saying another word, was led out the door. Sir, should I hire some more temporary bodyguards? Butler Walter asked. Huh? Klein nearly failed to interpret his butler. At times, competition in business can endanger one's safety. The butler also noticed the veiled threats by the Baron. I'm not too worried, Klein smiled. This is Backland. Because my name is known at the church, because I'm about to cooperate with the military, I'm unlikely to suffer any retaliation in the Beyonder domain, and I'm not afraid that the matters will develop like the Intis ambassador. Besides, the Baron is a successful man. He won't be that rash. When Walter attempted to continue, Klein chuckled, but being careful is always good. You can hire 2 bodyguards. Let them secretly provide me with protection. Try not to have them be discovered by the servants at home. Yes, sir, Walter replied. Klein thought for a moment and said, make a trip to the Member of Parliament Mock's place. Invite him to dinner at the Intis Sorenzo restaurant tomorrow with his wife and daughter. If they have a prior commitment, postpone it to another day. Justin, how's it going, man? The most convenient method was to visit Mock he planned on informing Mock that he was taking the military's test. The most convenient method was to visit Mock at his residence, but considering how there might be a demigod of the Marauder pathway around Hazel, any close contact might result in the aura of the Grey Fog being detected. Hence, Klein changed his plans. This way... Oh, Milos, it's too late now. It's already fucking done. Don't worry about it. This way, based on his excitement, the demigod which failed to parasitize Hazel was unlikely to accompany her. Gio hid in the shadows of the woods as she watched a brown carriage slowly drive past and turn to a particular street in the Empress Borough. This belonged to the captain of the Lone Kingdom Royal Guard, Viscount Stratford. Realizing that she had made 0 discoveries, she gloomily left her hiding spot and took a nearby carriage and returned to the Backland Bridge. Upon coming to Darby Street, Gio walked into the bar counter and said, Any new jobs? Yes, Butler Walter, who previously employed a 200-pound bounty for a few cheats, has offered a new job. It's very simple. Secretly protect his employer for a few days. The payment will be discussed face to face. It should have a handsome reward. He was very pleased with your efficiency during the last mission. He requested we give you priority. How about it? You interested? Gio, who had a rather deep impression of the butler and his employer because they spent 200 pounds to seek out cheats who had only scammed 1,000. Very generous, and he's quick to pay. Gio did a slight recall and nodded. All right. Yeah, all right. Bro, yes, okay. I thought we were talking about... Hey, it's fine. Okay, listen. When I get really into it, I stop reading chat. Okay, I apologize. I know that's bad. I'm gonna try working on it. But like, if I'm reading something that's like really cool, I just get into it. Okay, I get it. I'm excitable. Okay, sue me. And besides, yeah, no one has right to complain about that except Nightwalker. I feel like my guy here has been complaining about it for months. Alright. Jesus, okay. It's okay, man. Sequence 7 and 8 protecting a sequence 5. Well, yeah, it's like coal to the fire, right? Like someone goes to attack Klein and he goes, "Here, fight these guys first." And the guy's like, "These guys are weak as fuck." He's like, "Yeah, but they were just meant to distract you. I got you now, bitch." What is this? Heard a joke once. Man goes to a doctor, says he's depressed, his life seems harsh and cruel, says that he's alone in a threatening world, and what lies ahead is vague and uncertain. Doctor says treatment is simple. Great clown Pagliacci is in town tonight. Go and see him. That should pick you up. But doctor, I am Pagliacci. Very good. Very clever. Okay, what is this, bro? Audrey's she just turned 18. God damn it. This is disgusting. God, Milos, what are you sending me, bro? You're a Forest stan. What are you sending me? This is really well done. That's such a good drawing, dude. This is so... Even Leonard, look at him. His eyes green as emeralds. Holy fuck. But I ship Audrey and Gearman? So who do you ship fours with? What? What? You don't ship her with anyone? Fours and Geo. Stop. Actually? He simps over fours. He doesn't ship her. I don't know. Bro, I don't know how your guys' brains work. This is crazy to me. I don't understand. Oh, this is also so well done. His birthday is February 12th? Okay. You cannot not like it. Yeah, love that. People who, like me, ship fours with Klein are so rare to come by. You ship fours with Klein. That's what I would have suspected anyone who's a four stan does. This is some sussy shit you're sending me, Milos. What the fuck? Wow. That's beautiful. Okay, hold on. I'm curious. What if we do this? I'm just curious. Hold on. I just want to try something. Give me one quick second. What if we do this? OSOT has... It's so good, dude. What the fuck? What if, like, I can't remember who's... I think it was Mr. Loki. Might have been someone else. I can't remember. Oh, the green's gonna do some fucky shit. Okay. I'd have to fuck... Yeah, what if I put that as the background? But then what if I get rid of all the other stuff? What if I just say get rid of that? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I mean, it's really... I mean, the green's gonna fuck up my green screen, so I'd have to do some adjustments. As you guys can see, it's all hazy and shit. Unke's trying to nuke easy. What does that even mean, Nagito? What are you doing? I'm not struggling with technology, you evil bitch. God. You're so mean. You're so mean. What the fuck? Oh, fuck. It's actually getting to me, dude. You're cooking me. What if we do something like this? I will have to, I don't want to harm you, but you don't have a body. Hear me out. Why are you so ableist? Why are you so ableist, username? What the fuck? You evil bitch. You guys like this? Yes? No? Maybe so? What are we thinking? Maybe we change this. Yes, I am, you bitch. If Wiz joins stream, he's gonna get nuked with spoilers. Oh, nice. Yes, fuck him. Yes, I see what you mean. No. Listen, he would have to do some fucking... He would have to do some shit, okay? Okay. That's pretty good. The smoothness, like, you guys can see, like, the green in my hair and stuff. I can smooth that out a little bit later. But, like, I feel like this looks pretty good, right? What do you guys think? How do we like this? Change the chapter for... Oh, yes, I guess I should change this back to white now, I guess, eh? How's that? I feel like that looks pretty good. It looks good? Okay. Better with this setup? Peak? Okay, nice. Writing over Leonard's head and bigger? Oh, yeah, I guess now that I have the space for it, I can just turn this bigger. This is true. Why the fuck am I getting first place when I'm heading out? The curse. True. Dr. Z, you're gonna have to say something more, man. It's not... What? Any reason in particular or just general? How do I make this bigger? Am I losing my fucking mind? No, the line spacing is by choice. I can get rid of that. That's no problem. Feels like Leonard is digging you out. This is great. Love that. I mean, we can always move that around. That's no problem, you know. Let's just say we move this. We move me over here. Boop. And then we can... Then we can move... Boop, boop. You bitch. Stay. Like, this we can move around. That's no big deal, you know. That's kind of... That can kind of go wherever... You're not sure... This is true, but it's like, how's this? What if we do this? Is that better? What if I... Fuck, no, you bitch. Stop moving! Fuck, no, motherfucker. God, everything keeps moving. Motherfucker, you want... How much of my body do you need to see? This is insane. Can you make, like... Move chat next to tarot cards? I'm not drinking Provoker. I'm losing control after... You're... Shut the fuck up, Justin. No. How's this? Maybe better? Maybe worse? I don't know. It's like chat is getting implanted to your brain. Flip mirror your camera so you're most facing center. Oh, that's actually a really good point. I actually never thought... What if I do that? Yeah, but then I'd be facing here. Does that really make much of a difference? The thing is, I am going to be mostly facing center when I'm reading. It's just that right now, because I was moving so much shit around, I have chat put up here. Normally, chat's not over here. Chat's normally here. So, I wouldn't normally be looking over here anyway. So, like, I feel like this should be fine. What do you guys think? Fuck, though. God damn it. I got to figure out the fuzziness now, though. Looks good? Okay. I will figure out the... fuzziness that's happening over here. It's just some fucking stuff I need to alter. That's no big deal. Okay. On that really fun note, let's keep going. We'll keep... See? And then like this, for these small ones, we can just keep this. We can just keep this as is. You know, no problem. That one doesn't need to be much... That one doesn't need to be changed much. Wiz, so when are you giving... Why would I give you mod, Zaza? For what? What? Bro, how much... Bro, Gearman doesn't even show up. He just got mentioned. You're sending me 14. Gearman already didn't even show up. Bro. No, when I take Milosh's, it's probably going to be DSV, I would assume, what becomes mod. I mean, Nagito wants to do another fucking a poll when we hit 200 on Discord. By the way, if you're not, consider joining our Discord. Very close to 200. I think we're at like 190 something. I don't know, something. We're close. God, Jesus Christ, what is all this? Or don't. It's toxic. Jeez, this looks like Gearman. You know what this reminds me of? Hold on. He looks kind of like the fan arts of like Daemon Targaryen, different hairstyle, different clothing, obviously, but like facial structure wise, come on, you gotta give a little bit. You gotta give me a little bit. Look at them fucking Chad faces, for real. He looks like Arima from Tokyo Ghoul. Who's Arima? I don't know who that is. It's been a while since I've seen Tokyo Ghoul. Arima Tokyo Ghoul. Oh, actually, this is not bad either. This is pretty good. Arima's not bad either with the facial hair. This is not bad. Wait, did I say facial hair? Wait, what? With the glasses, sorry. Did I say facial hair? Jeez, that is a lunatic. Look at this fucking guy. Cool, merciless, and glasses. I know. Ooh. Now this guy, he would commit some heinous crimes and would, and he'd be, sure the judge would be like, "Sir, guilty or not guilty?" And he'd go, "I'm proud of it." Like, that's not a plea. That's all you're getting. God damn. That smile. That damn smile. Alucard is actually not a bad one either. This is true. This is... I like this. The hazy filter and stuff. This is cool. Very good stylistic choice. I don't know who did this, but good for you. What? I don't... Is this referring to a certain scene? I can't remember this if it is. To be clear, you dug up your core because some detective looks like it. Amon Hardy was mentioned once. Bro, you guys are so hungry for Amon, eh? God. By the way, I don't know who's. I think it was Devil telling me this. Apparently, everyone who seems to cosplay as Amon is a girl. Like he's. I think Devil mentioned this, that he's like never seen like a cosplayer of Amon as a guy. Is this true? Look at this fucking guy. Evil bastard. More Amon art. Most Chinese cosplayer are girls. I'm rarely see male ones. Nah, there's plenty of Amon cosplayers. Okay. Why is he playing hide and seek? What is this? Why is he hiding? This is really... Fuck me. This is really good art too. This is really good. Damn. Leonard must have been pissed. Oh, this is really cool. All the files, all the dossier, whatever, the tombstone. Why are there puzzle pieces? What are you doing with the magnifying glass? What are we doing with that? This is a good cosplay, though. Like, even the clothes, dope as fuck. Amon is the most attractive male character in the entirety of Lord of the Mysteries. My man, Dwayne Dantas, says otherwise. Liars. Alright, guys. I think we will end it there. That was a great stream. Based. We got some really dope shit. Got some dope stuff. Huh. Alright, okay, now we just have to wait for Easy to start streaming. Does anyone know? I assume he's probably going to stream tomorrow or maybe the day after? Okay, now we just have to wait until he starts streaming again, and then I'm going to hit him with the Here's the spoiler. You ready? Sequence 0. The Fool. Bang. All right. He's never going to see it coming. All right, that's it. All right, bye, guys. Thanks for popping by. Everyone have a great rest of your day or nights. And as always, love you guys.